Hello, everyone. Getting ready to go live at 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern, doing all the math today and letting everyone stream in and make sure that I don't start too early because I'm so excited about this topic in case you couldn't tell from my announcement that I put out there. Okay, back a few more minutes. And who doesn't like to talk about networking on a Friday afternoon, right? Most exciting thing is to talk about networking on a Friday afternoon. Okay, maybe not. Maybe that's a little extreme, but we might as well have a little bit of fun and go ahead and get started. So I have a PowerPoint somewhere. I swear I have a PowerPoint. And I will share that out and start my slideshow. And here we go. It's really funny because I always, I'm an introvert. I don't like networking, but there are ways to do networking, especially for lawyers, that work. And so I'll welcome you. And let me start just by saying that if networking makes you feel about as excited as a dental cleaning, you are in the right place. Lawyers deserve a better way to grow their practices that doesn't involve cheesy tactics or soul sucking mixers or used car salesman vibes. So hopefully by the time we're done here, I will have at least convinced you that there is a way to do business development and you can turn networking into something that's almost enjoyable and more importantly, profitable. So that was my whole purpose for doing this today because I had so many people talking about networking recently. Um, that they hate it and they hate the idea of it. No one wants to network, and can't they just spend $10,000 a month on SEO and make a practice work? You can, but it doesn't have to feel like a root canal. It doesn't have to be horrible. You don't have to make awkward small talk or force business cards on people or pretend you like horrible cold appetizers at mixers. So keeping that in mind, this is easy, not sleazy networking for lawyers who think they hate networking in sales. Let me guess. You've tried networking and it felt awkward, boring, like torture, probably. Maybe you've sat through some rah-rah trainer telling you to always be selling because nothing says trusted legal professional like acting like a pushy salesperson or always asking, well, could I review your legal issues? Do you have any clients for me? You don't have to be out there doing that. Or like me, you've been dragged to some formal networking event where everyone's wearing name tags, but no one's actually making any meaningful connections about anything. So you're making all that small talk, and it's exhausting, especially if you're an introvert like I am. It is exhausting to sit there and try to make small talk with people that you probably don't care about. Um, because face it, if you're at a networking event, most people are just trying to hand out as many business cards as possible. If you've ever thought there's got to be a better way, you're not alone. Stick with me. And there's like networking groups out there. There are things out there where you can make good connections, but you still have to do it correctly and work at it. And that's what this is kind of going into is if you think networking, I'd rather stick pencils in my eyes, then you're at the right place. Um, and I swear if I hear always be selling or that, selling is the only thing that's out there. We are all in sales, by the way. Everything you do, whether you are personal life, your professional life, my kids are in sales. My kids have taken it as their mission in life to convince me to do things that I may not want to do or buy them things that I may not want to buy them. And they're good little salespeople. So you are always in sales. People are always evaluating you, and you might as well make it work and be a easy process instead of the sleazy process. So if you dread cringy networking groups, so we've all been to those networking meetings, you dread cringy meetings, people sitting up and talking for 30 seconds about their whatever silly business they run. And you avoid mixers unless there's free food. And even then, is the free food really all that good? If there's free drinks, I may be more likely to be there. But free food is often what people try to get to draw people in. And then if you're thinking as a lawyer, do you actually need to network to grow your practice? Or do I actually need to network to grow my practice? You don't have to. It's not necessary to network. I will say that your business growth will go a lot further if you network. It will also make your clients' lives better if you network. And so that's a lot of what I talk about when I'm talking about networking and making it easy. Because if you are a network person or you are connected, not only do you make your clients' lives much easier, but then you also have that pipeline of business coming into your firm that you don't have to continually worry about how to bring more business in. And then we'll go into why you should or maybe not listen to me. Totally been in that stage where I was like, I think networking is I don't even understand why I'm doing this. Why am I going to a coffee meeting? Why am I talking to this person? Why do I care what their business is? So I have been there. I am technically a lawyer. I probably won't say just like you. I know my slide says that, but I probably am not just like you. We're all very different. But I'm not here to throw around buzzwords or make networking sound like the greatest thing since sliced bread. If you don't do it right, it's painful. It's ridiculously painful. And if you have met me at a networking event or you've met me at a mixer or even out doing a casual type thing, I'm sometimes uncomfortable unless I'm actually thinking about how to network correctly. So I don't like all the gurus out there necessarily saying there's a secret sauce. I don't think there is actually a secret sauce that works for everyone. That's why I'm proposing that you figure out your networking style and go with it. If it's not the same as someone else's, you may not have the same system as someone else. There are vastly different things out there, but that's why listening to me might not be a bad idea because I'm not going to tell you the exact same thing one after another. I feel like I have cracked the code on how to connect. And there are some people I don't network with. There are some people that I'm like, nope, they don't fit my style. They've not don't really like, we don't vibe, I guess I will say. You have to do that. And helping lawyers do this is really actually kind of fun. So I stumbled around. I've done all kinds of crazy attempts at networking or trying to make it easier. But what I was going to go through today was kind of how I have made it work over the years and what I've been doing. Mostly what you're told about networking is probably garbage. If you're doing it wrong, though, and you're hating it, you're wasting your time. Whenever I'm in a networking group or a networking, like people that I see on a regular basis, and they tell me that they haven't got any referrals from their networking group and they're thinking about leaving the group. Could be, I mean, that's fine. I don't think people should stick around if it's not working for them. But if you're not going to actually put in the effort to make it work, and sometimes people do, there are some industries, there are some practice areas, there are some where you have to find your people, and it may not be like a general networking group that's works for you. But if you treat networking like a chore that has to be done, that vibe comes through. That vibe comes into everything you do. And so if you think it's a chore, and I know people can tell when I'm in a Zoom networking these days and I'm talking, I know sometimes I'm like, I shouldn't have even came today. I'm better off not coming if I'm not in a great mood because you can tell when someone's being not authentic. When I was first starting out networking, I really struggled with, well, I didn't struggle. I struggled on with other people trying to constantly sell to me. Like you would go to a coffee meeting. At first, I couldn't figure out why anyone was doing these coffee meetings. And then it turned out to be a very lucrative practice to go to coffee meetings. And I'm going to pick on insurance and financial advisors. Sorry, y'all. But if I went to a coffee meeting and the first thing that the person said to me was, well, who has your policies now and can I review your policy? Instant turn off. And I would probably never call that person again. After a few years of networking, I did end up actually, um, if I liked the person and they had um, um, a good vibe, and maybe they were younger and hadn't been in the networking world, I sometimes would pull them inside and say, "Hey, this is what you're doing and how it's being perceived," and then help them, and it was fun. But for the most part, if I had someone say, "Hey, who has your business right now? I want your business." That's a turn off, and I would never do business with them. So that's the one thing is you're always out. You think you're out looking for clients, but you're really out looking for business partners who can refer you clients, and also you can refer back to. Um, no one really talks about how to network. You show up, you shake a few hands. It feels really phony. Um, Traditional tactics are really outdated. If you've looked at social media these days, if you've looked at who you're referring to and from, it's people that you like. It's people that are authentic, that are either themselves or they've developed some kind of persona. It may be authentic, but it may also be, you have to have barriers sometimes in life and boundaries. But it's people that are out there and they're talking about what they do and they interweave their personal life into things. And the attorney who likes wine, and the attorney that I find, all those things. And so if you're using traditional networking methods and it feels like it's super phony and you're not getting anywhere with it, that's probably why. You can't just hand out business cards. People are a lot more savvy these days. If you don't have a website, you should get a website. And even if you're doing word of mouth marketing, and that's your primary, you need to have a system out there that works for you. Um, the problem is the old system is wrong. I keep jumping through this. Um, it's not about selling. The moment that you stop trying to sell yourself, and this is the mindset shift that happens because being the super sarcastic person that I am on a Friday afternoon, you're not out there selling yourself. Nobody cares what you do. Nobody cares what your business is. The best coffee meetings and referrals that I often would get in private practice were ones where I said 2 words during the meeting and the other person talked the entire time. Because they're like, "Oh, that was a great meeting. I got to talk the whole time. Jen, great." You don't have to sell yourself. Most of the time, you just have to listen. And if you try too hard, people can tell. People can tell that you're really trying to convince them that you're a great person. And turns out people just want to work with lawyers they trust, not ones who are shoving their business cards in their face, not ones that are like constantly following up and saying, "Hey, you have any clients for me?" Not that lawyers do that. I think it's more, but it's still the idea that you can't go into networking thinking, "What am I going to get out of this?" You have to go in saying, "What am I going to put into this?" And the trust that's required for people to send you business, especially other attorneys, that comes from that genuine connection and a little bit of sarcasm sometimes, and not awkward sales pitches. Like you can't just be out there pitching things. So once I kind of figured that out, that I could totally be myself, because at first, when I started networking, I thought I had to fit this traditional mold of you have to wear a suit, you're a lawyer, and you can't do anything that's different. You can't bring a stuffed elephant with you to a meeting. Do you know my business took off the minute I stopped wearing suits to all my meetings, started acting like myself, and I brought a stupid stuffed elephant with me to every networking meeting. People didn't remember me, but they remembered the elephant and they remember what I did. So you have to make it fun and you have to make yourself memorable. People don't hire lawyers, they just meet at mixers. They have to like you, they have to trust you. The 3 steps to anti-sleazy networking, because again, we're making this easy, not sleazy. Networking doesn't have to be complicated. We make it more complicated by thinking there's all these rules involved. And if you know me at all with my rebel S-player persona, I'm not a huge fan of rules. I don't really like them. So it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to follow these traditional rules out there. And I would propose that the more individualized you are with your networking, the more personal you are, the better results you're going to get. Like I said, as soon as I started taking an elephant with me and I started being myself and not worrying about what my profession says I'm supposed to look like, or I'm supposed to sound like, I'm supposed to whatever, I got referral after referral after referral after referral. And the first step of that, and this is where my elephant helped me, was learning how to talk about what you do. And I have a spoiler alert for you here. It is not your 30-second elevator pitch. It is not, hey, I'm an estate planning attorney. I help people set up wills and trusts. Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. And half the people don't know what a trust is, even if they're lawyers. You would be surprised the number of people who don't know other practice areas at all. So nobody cares. They don't care how you identify yourself as an attorney or your practice area. What they care about is what problem you solve and can you articulate your solution or the problem that you solve and that you have a solution in 30 seconds or less. Oftentimes, telling stories is a good way to do that. But please drop the stupid elevator pitches that say, hi, my name is Jen. I'm an estate planning attorney. I help high net worth individuals and families set up wills and trusts. You sound like everybody else out there. It does not sound authentic and nobody remembers it. The other thing, the step 2 on here, is to think about the network you already have, your friends and family and colleagues. Make sure that they know what you're doing. And make sure that when you're networking all the time, you go to your kid's school, you're networking. You go to an event with your spouse, you're networking, whether you like it or not. Just be prepared to say what you do and not in a cheesy networking traditional style. Again, a lot of it's just being authentic. And then finally, I was talking a little earlier about having a networking plan that works for you. This is the important part. There are tons of ways out there to network. There are all kinds of books on this. I haven't read a book on it. Maybe ChatGPT will write a book for me someday. But you have to create something that works for you. I will say that I listened to people for far too long that told me I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And I was like, oh, okay, you're right. I can't do that. Because they had it in their mind that this is the way networking was done. If you don't follow those rules, you're not going to be successful. I would say throw that out the window. There are people on the very extreme end of organizational side for networking. And then there's me. I'm on the other extreme of I am very authentic, organic when it comes to networking. And I don't have like index cards. And you know who you are. If you hear me say index cards that I take to every meeting to write down what everybody does. There's no wrong way to do this, except if you're not being authentic about it and actually being yourself. That would be the only wrong way to do this, is if you're not being yourself. If you need help identifying yourself, that would be a great place to talk to me. I will help you identify yourself. I do love this picture because this is the example of keep it simple, the opposite of keep it simple. I do not know what's going on in this picture. I do not know what kind of AI created this. It came from Typeset. And I just looked at this picture and I was like, this seems very much like a lot of the networking plans I've seen from people. We're going to throw a couple hours here and a couple hours there. And I'm going to send out some introductions and I'm going to harass people on LinkedIn in private messages saying, are you ready for your strategy session? Are you ready? Schedule with me now. Do it now. And this is exactly what it reminded me of when I saw this picture. So that's why I included that picture on this particular slide, because I was very much trying to figure out what was going on here. And it seemed like someone was pretty much trying everything all at once and failing at all of it. Okay, so I actually have an offer for you because I am easy, but not sleazy. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I found so many lawyers over the years that they keep saying they hate networking and they hate sales, but what they hate is what they think it is. And there are ways to do it correctly. And this has come up several times. I've helped individual lawyers, numbers of lawyers where we've had brainstorming sessions. I've been doing this kind of ad hoc. And so finally I came up with a super sarcastic course, very surprisingly. Super sarcastic topic just to make it fun. And it's topics like, how boring is this content really? Pretty boring. Here are my main topics. And it goes into things like, are mixers even worth it if there isn't free food? Formal networking groups, kill me now. Always be selling and other cheesy things trainers of used car salesmen say. And gathering your referral sources and teaching them how to make sales for you. This sounds like an MLM. I had a lot of fun creating it because I'm tired of all the traditional courses out there, the traditional mindset of how to network. There are better ways to do it, way more fun than I was being taught. And you can learn it all. It's self-paced. I probably will do live workshops at some point, but I had fun creating the self-paced course first. And we're going to talk about elevator pitches and how to create them so it doesn't feel like you're reciting the Pledge of Allegiance every time. Discover how to tap into your existing network, your personalized plan that aligns with your goals, not my goals, not someone else's goals, and not things that you think are sleazy. That's the easy part of this, is let's make it so that it's easy for your personality. And then I did throw in a step-by-step guide to hosting your own referral group because referral groups are very powerful if they are structured with people you know, like, trust, and who work at it. And that's the problem with a lot of networking groups. You'll have 2 or 3 in there who are there to work at the networking part, and the rest are there because they want to get referrals. So I do have a special offer on this. The course is in pre-launch. It is recorded and coming out December 13th. It's $9.97 normally, but Black Friday, so through December 1st, which is Cyber Monday, actually, I think, or maybe Sunday, it's half off. It's just kind of 50%. So if you want a little bit more sarcasm in your life, you want to go through 8 quick modules on easy, not sleazy networking, then this is the course for you. Talking about building connections without going to use per salesman, having the ability to help your clients even more than you already are now. That's a whole discussion on how you help your clients with your network. And then being confident walking into a room full of strangers, even when you are an introvert like I am. Not that I'm always super confident, but at least I know what I'm talking about when I get there. So that is the Black Friday sale on the Easy Not Sleazy. Again, the reason why I'm doing this, and it's on the LawyerSuccessNetwork.com website. I will link it into the comments for both of the live streams that are going on. Again, the reason why I'm doing this is because it is so much fun to talk about different ways of doing things and not not conform. Imagine that. I don't like conforming. I'm kind of a rebel that way. And so that's where I came from. So don't miss out on the pre-launch Black Friday price because it will go up to $9.97 after December 1st. And if you decide that you want to do this program for like your firm, you have multiple people that you would want to see it and do it live, I am happy to do a proposal to do a live version. It will probably be on Zoom unless you want to come to North Dakota. But I'm happy to do customized proposals that way too, and do this as a half-day workshop because it's designed to be a 4-hour discussion on networking. So let me know if you have questions. Reach out to me. Facebook, LinkedIn are the best ways. Instagram, if necessary. Text me. Do not call me. I don't want any phone calls whatsoever. And in fact, if I get a sales pitch in my LinkedIn inbox, because that's all you get on LinkedIn inbox, isn't it? If I get a sales pitch in there, I most often will respond with, I don't have a phone. So that's it. Because I keep getting the ones about how do you handle all the phone calls coming into your business? And let me set up a proposal for that and all these things. And I'm always like, I don't have a phone, so I don't need to worry about people coming into my business. And boom. So questions, reach out. Be easy, not sleazy when it comes to networking. And please stop handing out business cards and asking people to review their policies if you're an insurance agent. I'm Jen Lee, aka Rebel Esquire with Lawyer Success Network. Happy Friday.